Hi friends, Sunil here. Welcome back to this channel. In this video we will learn how to handle exceptions in Python. Basically there are two types of errors: syntax error and runtime errors. Syntax errors are caused due to grammatical mistakes, like forgetting to put a colon at the end of an if statement, or putting an extra bracket while defining a function, and so on. Whereas runtime errors or exception is an unexpected event which disrupts the normal flow of the program during execution. So we will understand exceptions with the help of some examples. So here I am having two integer variables x and y, the values of which are entered by the user. Then I am having a variable r which I have initialized to none. Then here I am dividing x by y and the result is stored in variable r. Then I am printing the result r. So we will run this. I am giving the first number as 10 and 2. So x is 10, y is 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. That is stored in the result and it is printed here. So result is 5. Now we will run it again. This time I am giving the second number as 0. So here value of x is 10 and y is 0. So when we are trying to divide 10 by 0, it has thrown an exception, it has thrown an error. And the program has got crashed. It has terminated here. It has not executed these lines below. It has not printed the result and not printed n. So Python has thrown this traceback error. It is showing zero division error as the exception. So we don't want this error to be displayed to the people using our software. So we have to handle this error. We have to handle this exception. So we can handle this exception using the try except block. Before that, let us have a look at the list of exceptions in Python. For that I am importing the built-ins module here. After that I am calling help built-ins. So these are the exceptions: arithmetic error, assertion error, attribute error, name error, and so on. All these exceptions come under the base class exception. So exception is the base class. Now we will see how to handle this exception using the try except block. So whatever we want to test, we put under the try block, and if an exception is thrown, then this except block will be executed. So we will run this. So result is 5. It has divided 10 by 2. Exception was not, no exception was raised, and it has printed the result. Now I will run it again. So this time I have given the second number as 0. So since we are trying to divide by 0, the value of y is 0, an exception was thrown. and it has executed this except block and printed division by 0. So although this exception was raised, the program had not crashed or terminated. It has gone on to print the end statement. Now I will change the variable y to z and run it again. So although I am dividing by 2, it is printing the same message, that is division by 0. This is because this exception here is the base class, which is general and not specific to zero division error. So since it is general, not only the zero division error but all other exceptions will also get caught here. So to find out the new error, new exception, I will make this specific. I will make this exception specific to zero division. And now run it again. Now it has thrown the Python traceback error. It is showing as name error. Name z is not defined. So to catch this error, I will add another except block with the base class exception. So accept exception as E. E can be any variable. So here I am printing the name of the error, that is type E dot underscore underscore name. This name is a special variable. So the name of the error will be printed here. Then after that I am printing the error E. That is this variable I am printing. It will give me the details of the error. So we will run it again. So it has caught this exception. It has caught this new exception, that is name error. The name of the error is name error, and that was due to the reason name z is not defined. So we have not defined z anywhere. X and y we have already defined, but z is not there. So that was the reason. So similarly we can catch other exceptions also. Now I will make this specific. Now that I have caught this error, I will handle this error by making this specific. So it has handled this exception name error. It has printed name of the error and the details of the error. Now we will try to catch one more error. here I will remove this integer part of it. So by default, when you accept a variable from the screen, the value will be string, it will be string. So x will be string and y will be integer. So it will throw other exception now. So we'll run this. So we have already caught the zero division error and name error. So these two except blocks are specific for these two errors. So now it has thrown the Python traceback error saying type error. There is a type mismatch. Because this is string, x is string and y is integer, we are trying to divide string by integer. So there is a type mismatch, it is saying that string for string and integer. So in order to catch this error, we will make another except block with generic class, that is exception. As e, then we will print the name of the error and the details of the error. So I will run this again. So the name of the error is type error, and it is because we are dividing a string by an integer. So now I have caught this exception. It is a type error. So now I will make it specific for that type. So I will make this exception specific now for the type error. So after catching the type error, now we are handling the error. So it has printed name as type error and it has printed the details of this error. So we have handled the type error. So this is how we catch exception and handle it. Now a recap of what we have done so far. When the try block throws an exception, that exception is caught in the except block by the statement accept exception as e, where e is any variable name and exception is the general base class. Once the exception is caught, the name of the specific exception can be displayed by using this type e dot underscore underscore special variable name. Then the base class exception in the except statement can be replaced by this specific exception, and you can write the appropriate code to handle the specific exception. Now we will see the else statement. The else statement will be executed whenever the code does not throw an exception. So when there are no exception, the else statement will be executed. We will run this. So I have divided 10 by 2. No exception was raised. It has gone to the else statement and printed the result, that is 5. Now I will run it again. This time I am giving the second number as 0. So it has divided by 0. So 0 division error exception is raised. and it has printed division by 0. Since exception is raised, it has not gone to this else statement. It has not printed the result. It has only printed the end. So the else statement will be executed whenever the code does not throw an exception. The else statement cannot be used if there are no except statements. Now we will see the finally statement. The finally statement will be executed irrespective of whether exception occurs or does not occur. So here I will print the end in this finally block. I will run it. So here no exception was raised and finally block has been executed. Here when exception is raised, that is zero division error exception is raised, in that case also the finally block had got executed. It has printed end. So it is not necessary to have except and else for finally clause to be executed. It is independent of except and else. Now the raise keyword. The keyword raise allows a specific exception to occur. Here I am assigning -1 to variable x. Then if x is less than or equal to 0, then I am raising the exception. We will run this. So since the value of x is less than 0, it has raised the exception. Only positive integers allowed. Now with raise you can have any class of exception. You can have the general exception or you can have subclasses. For example, here instead of exception I can use the subclass, say value error. Now if I run, it is throwing value error, only positive integers allowed. So with raise you can use any class of exceptions and you can also pass arguments. Now we will see customs exception class. So when creating the customs exception class, you need to inherit the class from the base exception class. So the base exception will be in parentheses. Then I am accepting from the user a minimum of 6 characters. Then in the try block I am checking if the length of the string, that is I, is less than 6 characters, then customs exception is raised. Then it is printing the name of the error exception. I will run this. So here it is asking to enter the text. I am giving only 3 characters. So it should be a minimum of 6 characters. So I am giving only 3 characters, it will raise the exception. So it has thrown the exception, customs exception, cust ex cep, that is this exception it has thrown. It has printed the name here, name of the exception, and it has displayed this message, accepted at least 6 characters. So now we will see one more example of customs exception. So here I have defined a customs exception class age not in range error, which is derived from this base class exception. And here I am accepting the age from the user. Then I am checking if age is not in this range 21, if age is not between 21 and 65, it will raise this customs error and it will pass the message, this argument, to this init method of the customs exception class. So from there, from the init method of the customs exception class, that is age not in range error class, from the init method of that, it will call the parent class, that is by using the super function. It will call the init method of the parent class by using the super function, and the parent class is exception. So it will call the init method of exception with this message. And if age is in range, then it will print this message age in range. So we will execute this. So first I will give 25, it will show display it is in range. So age in range. Now if I give say 11, so it is not between 21 and 65. So it will raise the age not in range customs exception error. So we will run this. So it has thrown the customs exception error, that is age not in range error, and it has displayed the message 11, that is age, that is this age. I am stringing the age here. So 11 is not in range 21 to 25. So now we will try to open a file we will see the exception file not found error. So I am trying to open a file which is not there. Text file.txt is not there. So when I am trying to open that file, this exception file not found error will be raised and it will print the name of the error and the description of it. So I'll run it. So it has printed name, that is type e dot underscore underscore name, that is this file not found error. This is the name of the error and this is the detail of the error, that is the value in variable e is the detail of the error. So it has printed, it has caught this exception file not found error and printed the details, and it has gone to finally and displayed the message. Now if I give a file which is there, which is present in the system, say I am giving text underscore file, this file is present, then it will not raise the exception. It will print the details in the file and then also it will go to finally and display this message. Finally will be executed under all circumstances. So now it will open the file, read the contents of the file and close the file and execute finally. So it has opened the file, so it has not gone to this exception, it has gone to this else statement. It has read the file detail, it has read the details from the file, that is Rishabh Pant 23 Delhi, that is the details from the file. It has printed the details, then it has closed the file. Now this close statement I can give in this finally block. And I will rerun it again. So it has displayed the message, displayed the contents in the file, and it has closed the file in this finally block and printed the message. This finally block is useful to close file objects and clean up resources. So that's it for this video. Hopefully it gave you a large overview of exception handling. In the next video, we will have some more examples on exception. If you are having any questions, ask in the comment section, and be sure to subscribe for future videos. And thank you all for watching.